Alright, so I got the battery installed. Well, it's hooked up, it's not installed. And right now we're checking for spark. So I pulled the spark plug out. And we're going to see if we can't get spark here. Stick it next to the case here. And we'll give it a shot. Here we go. Get you closer here so you can see if there's any spark. There is a spark, but it's kind of a weird spark. Let's see if we just don't have a good ground. Try a different spot here. It is sparking. Alright, so we do have spark. It's not real good spark, but it should be enough to fire this thing over. I just don't have a good place to ground it to. I can't, it won't stay. We'll try that. Oh yeah, that's better. Yep, so the next thing we'll do is we'll put the compression tester in here. Now I cannot open the throttle. The cable is broken, you can see it moving. So it's not hooked up to the carburetor. But we'll see what we get with just a compression tester without the full throttle. Alright, compression tester is going in. Let's get our gauge. We'll hook it up. And hopefully we've got compression. I'd like to see, I know 100, it'll start at 100, but again, without the throttle being open, I don't know what we're going to get. So there's 90, there's 120, so we want to go just above the 90. Hopefully we'll get it. Again, I don't have the throttle open. So we're getting about 70. So compression is low. So could be valves, could be rings. Not real sure. I don't think it's going to start with 70. But again, I don't have wide open throttle either, so I don't know how much of a difference that will make. So, and it could be not turned over fast enough. It's definitely right at 70 no matter what. Alright, so we'll probably pull the covers off, check the valve clearance. I'm going to take the cover off here and the one in the back right there. Pull those off, check our valves, make sure they're not too tight. We'll go from there. My guess is it's probably going to need rings, but we'll check it and we'll go from there. Let's check our valve clearances. turn free. Have to get a screwdriver. Alright, so we'll pull the inspection cover here. Get you guys a little closer so you can see. So we'll pull this cover off and we'll turn it. Get the little O-ring off. I don't want to lose that. Ooh, that's on there good. Alright, put this over here. What we're going to do is we're going to look down this hole and we're going to look for a line. There's 2 lines there. We'll keep going. It's hard to see. Coming up on compression there. And that should be it right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But next thing we'll do is pull these covers off. Yeah, we can pull this off real quick and see, make sure our timing mark is at the top dead center. Everything on this quad is tight. It looks like we're 180 out. The timing mark should be lined up against here. And right now we're pointing down, so looks like we're 180 out. Fire, and there's the top dead center, so we're lined up perfect, and that's pointed up. Almost looks like that's off a little bit, so we may end up having to adjust that, but we should be at top dead center. Go ahead and pull the valve covers off. Feels a little tight. Feels good. Intake feels a little tight. Not sure what spec is, but yeah, there's no movement there. It's tight. So we'll find out what the spec is, and then we'll probably have to adjust that, and hopefully we'll get more compression. Hopefully it's pushing that valve open a little bit. If this isn't it, then it's, like I said, it's probably going to have to pull the cylinder and check the rings. Alright, so the spec, looking it up on the internet, says it should be 0.06 millimeter to 0.10 millimeter. And it won't go in. So we're going to have to adjust it. I'm at the mid-range here, 0.07. So we'll go ahead and adjust it to 0.07. And then we'll go back and check to make sure the 0.1 won't go in. Alright, so there's 0.07 right there. And what we'll do is we'll hold it right there and we'll tighten this up. Alright, so 0.07 goes in. We now have a lot of play there. That's better than what it was. She's a little bit loose, so I'm going to go ahead and readjust that again. It's not quite where I want it. Right there. Tighten it up. Alright, that's good right there. Alright, so we'll go to 0.01 or 0.1 and make sure it does not go in. And it does not. So we are in spec. So what we'll do is we'll try to do the compression check again. And it just seems like a lot. Let me check that again. Point. That's it. I might take it to the 0.6 millimeter. Is it? That's a lot of play right there. I think it'd make too much racket to sit there and rattle. So go ahead and adjust it to the minimum. Tight. That's what we want right there. Go ahead and tighten that up. Make sure it doesn't move. Yeah. Yeah, so that's good right there. Okay, so let's get the compression tester and we'll try the compression one more time. Hopefully that fixes our issue. If not, looks like we're going to be tearing it apart. Alright, got the compression tester back in. And we're going to try this one more time. Let me get you guys a little closer so you can watch the gauge. A little bit more. Alright, so we're looking for, like I said, just above the 90. And here we go. Well, that definitely helped. Definitely helped. So that valve was being held open. For right now, I'm going to call that good because, like I said, I cannot open the throttle to see if, you know, that's the correct way, I guess, is to hold the throttle open, wide open throttle. But again, I can't do that. So I think 90 is going to be okay. Yeah, so we'll go from there. We'll try to get the spark plug to work a little better. If not, we may have to get a new spark plug, and we'll probably try to put some fuel down the cylinder, maybe starting fluid in the carburetor, not sure. And we'll see if we can get this thing to fire up. It'd be nice to make some noise with it. That way I know if I've got something, or again, if I just need to scrap this thing. But alright, next thing we'll do is put the spark plug in and go from there. Alright, got a little bit of fuel down the cylinder, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can get this thing to fire off. Ooh. So that was promising. So yeah, it did fire off. So it should run once we get some fuel in it. I might try to put some fuel in the carburetor here, see if we can't get it to run a little bit longer. I'd like to at least hear it idle. Looks like we're leaking some oil, but that's coming out of the cover I took off. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to change the oil anyway. It's dripping on the ground. But again, if I can just make this thing make some noise, then I'll know it's okay to continue on with it. So let me put some fuel in the carburetor, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Alright, so I took the fuel tank off of a different four-wheeler here. I've got the fuel flowing. You can see it in the filter bowl there. The carburetor does leak, so we're going to need to probably get us a O-ring that goes around the needle seat. And well, let's see if this thing will fire up. I got the battery charger on it because it was starting to die. Hopefully this thing will fire off here. Alright, well, I'd say that was a success. Yep, there goes all the oil out of the motor, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to change it anyway. I guess what we're going to do next is put this thing back together. And it looks like the issue was the valve was out of adjustment. So get this thing back together, and I guess we'll continue on with it. It does run. I did order a throttle cable, so once that comes in, I'll be able to hook it up and see if we can get some throttle response. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and order up a rebuild kit for this carburetor, and we'll go ahead and do a whole rebuild kit and everything. And hopefully next video this thing will be running on its own. I got the front brake master cylinder on, and I've already bled it. So this is a good system here. This one works good. I mean, it's not going anywhere. So we got front brakes. I'll order a gasket, back brakes. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I got a new petcock for the Kodiak 400. So I took the petcock off of that and put it on this one. So we have a good petcock on this one now. The other one was, I don't know, it was missing everything. It was all broken. So once we get throttle cable, I'll get some fuel line to hook it to the carburetor. We'll put some fuel in it, and this thing should fire up and run. It'll fire up and run for a few minutes now, but I don't have any throttle control, so it just starts and dies. But that's where we're at with the Warrior. I'll probably end this video here. Only because it's getting really long already. On the next video, we'll come back and we'll do the rear brakes. We'll get a gasket for the caliper down there. And the fuel line, we'll put some fuel in it. We'll bleed the rear brake, and we will start this thing after we get the throttle cable. Yeah, so we got a ways to go yet, guys, on this one, but it's coming along. I feel like it's going to be running here within the next couple of days. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.